Hey everybody, this is Peter with Cooking with Peter. Today is going to be a super special edition of our show because a few days ago we hit 500 subscribers on our new channel, Cooking with Peter. We've only been at this for 4 months, so I'm extremely grateful to all of you who have become part of my Cooking with Peter family, because I consider all of you my family members. Let me also say that I don't do this show alone. I have 2 great video editors behind me who are filming the shows, who are doing all the editing, putting in the music, all the different things we do behind the scenes, and I'm extremely grateful for those 2 gentlemen also, because believe me, I make a lot of mistakes when doing this video, and they are fantastic at making me look good. All right. Today we're going to be doing a really special and very easy mushroom puff pastry pizza. And Robert in Prescott, Arizona, I want you to make this recipe because it's an easy recipe and I know you want to do easy recipes. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to go over the ingredients today with our mushroom puff pastry pizza. What I have over here is a Pepperidge Farm puff pastry sheet, and this has been pressed out a little bit to cover more of this cooking sheet. And then if you look right here, I've cut very thinly about a 1/2 inch border all the way around this puff pastry sheet. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I have about a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. This is not shredded mozzarella cheese out of the container. I would like for you to shred that yourself. So buy the block and then shred that cheese, because you won't have a lot of that cake and so forth that's inside the shredded cheese to make it so that it doesn't stick, kind of that starch. We have 1 pound of baby portobello mushrooms. And if you look, these are cut a little thick. Buy the baby portobello mushrooms that are not pre-sliced, because I want you to see that these are a little thicker. If you buy the ones that are pre-sliced, they're going to be sliced very thinly, and that's not what we want. We have here a 1/4 cup of white wine. We have 4 cloves of garlic. We have 2 tablespoons of butter, some chives at the end. I'm going to be using this Kinder's, the blend, salt and pepper and garlic blend. That's going to be in the mushrooms in a bit. I'm going to be using the Weber's Herb Garden, and these are the ingredients we're going to be using in our mushroom puff pastry pizza. All right, let's get started. By the way, I've turned the oven on to 425 degrees already, so that's been preheating. Now we're going to be docking that's just kind of pricking with the fork inside of the border that I've pre-cut. And by the way, I did not cut that border, you see, all the way through. So the reason I'm doing this is so that the puff pastry does not puff up here in the middle. We're going to do a pre-cook on the puff pastry for 10 minutes, and that's going to help us get that side puffing up and creating the border for us. So just by doing this docking and staying inside the border, not going outside, we're going to be having a great surface here to work with in a few minutes. Okay? So just continue and go all the way through and just stay inside the border that I've pre-cut. Now I'm going to brush this puff pastry with a little bit of olive oil. Use a good quality olive oil. You know how I feel about olive oil. So not very much, but just brush it along like you're seeing here. Get it all over, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to be putting this puff pastry into the oven. It's going to be going into the preheated oven, which is set at 425 degrees, and we're going to be doing that for 10 minutes. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking the mushrooms as well to get those ready. We'll be right back. Okay, while I have the puff pastry cooking in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking the mushrooms, which are going to be going on top of the puff pastry. So here I have a preheated skillet, and this is heated to about a medium heat. If you're cooking with induction like I am, I have the skillet set on a level 4. All right, so we're going to let the butter go for a couple of minutes. Move it around. Smelling good already. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. Not much, just maybe a tablespoon. And now it's time for the garlic to go in. We'll start the garlic to cook. Now we're going to add in the mushrooms. And these are all going to take about 7 or 8 minutes to cook down. I'm also going to be putting in some of the kinders. The blend is what it's called, salt, pepper, garlic. And you know, the mushrooms are going to need quite a bit of seasoning. Salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic. So we'll let this go for a couple of minutes, and then I'll be adding the wine towards the end, and we'll be right back. Okay, I've just taken the puff pastry out of the oven. It was puffing up a little bit more than what I actually wanted, so I took a I took a fork and I just kind of pushed down a little bit, which you saw in the video. Now, while the puff pastry is hot, we need to take some mozzarella cheese and sprinkle it around the puff pastry. You want to stay away from the border, so just put the mozzarella up to the puff pastry border and just come on around like this. And we're going to be putting those mushrooms on top of this mozzarella cheese, and then we're going to go back into the oven. Again, just try to stay away from the border. We have cut around, but cover the puff pastry pretty well. Okay, very good. All right, now you can see the mushrooms, almost all of the liquid has evaporated. So I'm just going to move these mushrooms over to the puff pastry on top of the mozzarella, just like that. So you can see the 1 pound of baby portobello mushrooms have shrunken down quite a bit because they have a lot of water inside the mushrooms. So that's why they shrink down. This looks absolutely delicious. You can use this as a pizza, you can use it as an appetizer, whatever you'd like to do. Okay, just one more here, or two, and we'll be going back into the oven in a couple of minutes. There we go, just like that. Now I want to take the Weber herb garden and just put some in my hand and just sprinkle these herbs around just like this. This has an incredible blend of herbs. I love it, and I've been using this on almost every dish that I make lately. It's just truly delicious. Just like that. Okay, now we will go back into the oven for another 10 to 12 minutes, and then our mushroom puff pastry pizza will be ready to go. We'll be right back. So we've just taken the mushroom puff pastry pizza out of the oven, and I'm going to put a little more olive oil on top. Just kind of sprinkle it on just a little bit, not a lot, just like this. And that olive oil is going to soak into that mushrooms and the puff pastry. It's going to be delicious. Okay, now we need to let this sit for about 10 minutes so that it has time to cool down a bit. And then I'll be putting these chives on top of the mushroom puff pastry pizza. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, everybody, this is going to wrap up our mushroom puff pastry pizza. Again, I want to say thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed to become a member of my Cooking with Peter family. We have members of the family from Japan, from El Salvador, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Mexico, the United States, Canada, Spain, Great Britain, and many other countries. So I just want to say thank you so much. And please, if you have not become a member of our family already, subscribe to the channel. It's easy to do. And I hope you're going to enjoy this very special edition and this very special mushroom puff pastry pizza. We'll see you next time on Cooking with Peter. Thank you very much.